Hi there, welcome to Kneppy Invest and welcome to September 4, 2024. We have about 1 hour and 10 minutes left of trading and everything's down. Down big. It's a sea of red. It's a bloodbath. Although I did see an interesting article. This is the worst day on the ASX in 1 month. Oh, I think it was the Sydney Morning Herald. The news media loves this sort of thing. They absolutely love it when the markets are down because, again, we all know that fear is a much more powerful emotion than greed, and people just love this sort of thing. They love drama, they love chaos. Um, if there was no drama or chaos, there'll be no news, there'll be no journalists, there'll be no newspapers. They all exist on a drama, and we have that in spades today on the ASX. Not only the ASX, but also the international exchanges. They're all down fairly big, led by the American markets because of some weak economic data that did flow through during the evening. I'll touch upon that in a second. So the agenda for today's video is very similar than other videos. We'll go through the best and worst performing sectors, indices, and also companies. Yes, some companies have performed today. Then we'll have a look at the top 5 stocks of the day. Not much to discuss there. No charts or anything like that. And I do have a little bit of announcement before we start this video. So let's do that now. Let's start with this announcement. So you have spoken up and you want, generally, not everyone, I suppose, but a lot of you do want more standalone videos. And before I recorded this video, I did my standalone video on Stealth Group. I was going to record it after this video. My aim was to give Stealth Group 10 minutes of my time. No, the video lasted 26 minutes and 32 seconds. So moving forward, and this was an ad hoc video. I did not plan it, no PowerPoint presentation or anything like that. I just looked at the financial results, their presentation, and I had plenty to discuss. That's why I went for 26 minutes and 32 seconds. Now, moving forward, when I do these type of standalone videos, I'm going to be, or try to aim to do 10-minute videos. So don't expect this sort of length, this sort of video in the future, that sort of length video in the future anyway. Okay, and by the way, because I'll be releasing that video on Thursday morning, and there was actually an interesting announcement from Stealth Group. They will be doing a webinar on Thursday morning at 11:30 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. So if you do like this company, that's something. In fact, I wouldn't have even known they're going to have an investor webinar because it was not marked price sensitive, and I would have completely missed it. So in fact, me recording that video, I might actually go and listen in on this webinar. Maybe, I don't know. I'm not the biggest fan of webinars. The other thing I noticed, share price was up. So overall weakness in the market, yet the Stealth Group share price is up. That tells us that there's a little bit of strength. There's a little bit of momentum in this company right now. And the other thing to really confirm that is have a look at the volume. Have a look at the volume of this company. It has really exploded over the past few days since they released the results. Now, this video is not on Stealth Group. I just wanted to get that news out there that I will be releasing a standalone video on Stealth Group on the morning of September 5, and it's 26 minutes long. So in the future, it won't be 26 minutes long. Okay, so let's get to the ASX today. And it's an ugly, ugly day. Now, if you hate this sort of day, if you can't if you're going to be staying up all night because you can't get to sleep because of what happened on the equity markets today and overnight, I probably would maybe mention that maybe this sort of thing is not for you. I won't have any difficulty getting to sleep because I know this happens all quite often. In fact, it happened 1 month ago, this sort of capitulation in the market. So if you go to the XJO, so nice few weeks of days up. But don't forget, on the 2nd and 5th of August, we saw the XJO fall in a heap and then it recovered. Who knows what's going to happen now? This could be just a one-off. But the reason why the NASDAQ and the Dow Jones, S&P 500 were all down was because of some weaker than expected economic data. So that is the slight concerning thing I do have. This is on the back of real stuff, real economic data. And that economic data was the ISM manufacturing PMI, actual 47.2. The forecast was 47.5. Last month, it was 46.8. Now, whenever it's under 50, that means contraction. So we wanted to get back up above 50. That would mean expansion. So not good information there. Just going to see if they do have anything else tomorrow. Yeah, JOLTS job openings will be released at midnight our time tonight. That could be interesting because last time this happened, last month, it was two really bad economic data sets in a row. I think it was PMI and also jobs as well. So if this is actually weaker than expected as well, maybe we're going to see another big down day. Not only that, NVIDIA was hit with some sort of legal thing. I have no idea what it is. Department of Justice. After the market had finished, they were. It's not in any of the news here. Here it is. Department of Justice antitrust inquiry into NVIDIA escalates with subpoenas probing alleged monopolistic practices. NVIDIA has been subpoenaed. There we go. So that was after the market had closed. So there could be an possibility that NVIDIA's share price will drop a fair bit overnight as well. But this happens a lot with NVIDIA. We have seen the share price of this company drop 10% in one day quite often over the past few months. Anyway, let's go back to the market. What has happened on the market today? I would assume everything's down. Utilities, a little bit defensive there, but only down 0.66%. Industrials not down by much. Energy and mining down a lot. Did notice that Fortescue was down a fair bit, but then I had a look. They went ex-dividend. So that explains a lot of the drop in Fortescue's share price. I would assume it's one of the worst performing companies on the ASX today. Not in percentage change, but among the bigger companies. IT down a fair bit, understandable because of NASDAQ. Financials down. That's understandable because CBA is significantly overvalued. I'd say it's probably the most overvalued it's been ever. And I would even say, if someone had an argument that the banks are now in a bubble in Australia, I would say, yeah, just look at CBA. CBA is in a bubble. I know. Is any indice up today? I doubt it. The only one that could have been up was gold, and it's not. In fact, gold's had a pretty bad day. So gold's had a bad day. Stocks have a bad day. Bitcoin's a bad day. Probably the only thing that hasn't had a bad day would be shorting. So the bear ETFs probably had a pretty good day today. Okay, so let's go back to have a look at the ASX 20. Is any company in the ASX 20 up today? I would assume, based off utilities, maybe Transurban. Is Transurban in utilities or industrials? I think it's industrials. Okay. I'm trying to think if a company could be up. Well, what's in utilities? I can't remember. Anyway, let's have a look. Where's ASX 20? Maybe they're all down. Maybe it's 20 down, 0 up. Oh, 2 up. 2 companies in the ASX 20 are up. Which ones? Were Brambles and I'm going to say Transurban. Oh, slightly. Transurban and Brambles both up slightly. And the worst performing company in the ASX 20, no shock here, it's Fortescue. They have gone ex-dividend, and the dividend was about 90 cents. 90 cents? 95 cents, something like that. Let's see how well my memory is. 89 cents. So not that far off. And dividend yield 9.4%. So yeah, that explains a lot of the drop in share price for Fortescue. Not all of it, but just some of it. So we can move on. And everything else is down. Okay, so let's get to the best and worst performing companies on the ASX. My dog is playing with the toy. Hope you can't hear that. Okay, so let's have a look at the top losers. And then we'll have a look at the top gainers. Now, percentage change, I'm shocked there is no company that has dropped by a significant amount. Probably the only company that is of interest to me is Next Science, down 16.7%. I'm following that company, not all that closely, but I am following that company. I'm just waiting for that company to hit a bit of an inflection point. They are growing, but they're still significantly unprofitable and burning through a fair bit of cash. Pretty sure they're aware of that. They should be. And other than that, or Cettire. Cettire down 13% after a couple of really good days, and there is a reason behind that, which we'll discuss in a second. It is in my top 5 stocks of the day, Cettire, so no need to discuss that company yet. Let's have a look by market cap. Fortescue's there. You notice gold, uranium, Cettire. What else? A lot of energy companies here. Another uranium, iron ore, a few gold companies as well. Metro Mining is bauxite. Silver mines, the crypto innovators. Yep. So a lot of energy, a lot of mining companies in this list. But most of these companies are down just because overall weakness in the market and among commodity prices. So nothing really to discuss among the top losers. No real big surprises. So even Fortescue can be explained away. So let's have a look at the best performing companies today. This is where you love to see some companies that you own in this list. You like to see green in your portfolio when the overall market is down 2%. And this is something I do look at. Which companies are up? And that shows there is a bit of strength in those companies. So a company called Eastern Metals, up 52.38%. Market cap is 3.64 million. I'm assuming this is a bit of noise. They might have released something. What's today's date? The 5th, 4th? And no, they have not released anything recently. So I'm just going to say that's a bit of noise. And most of the best performing companies here look like they're up on a bit of noise, a few trades. In fact, one of these companies is up 16.7% on $8 worth of trading today. So no big interesting companies among this group, to be honest with you. Yeah, so let's move on to the list by market cap. Orora, up 7.2%. That is in my top 5 stocks of the day. In fact, we'll tell you right now, that is number 1. That is the top stock of the day, and that's why. It's up 7.2%. They did make an announcement in regards to a divestment, and the market likes it. And not only that, there was a takeover bid recently, and Orora knocked it back, said this takeover bid will be too cheap. So this could sort of end any other takeover bids for Orora. I don't know. Nanosonics is up. There you have a company I do own. Aussie Broadband is up 4.5%. So they released really good results. I think the market really overreacted when they released a trading update over a month ago, and the share price is rebounding. And the share price is up because this is not in my top 5 stocks of the day. Oh no, I'm gonna put in my top 5 stocks of the day. I'm going to take out Titomic and put in Aussie Broadband. Sorry, Titomic. And then we have the bear ETFs. BBOS up 5%. Appendix bounced down a fair bit over the last few days. SKS Technologies, not long ago, 2 days ago, share price was $1.25. Now it's up to $1.47. But they did release some news today in regards to a contract, so not surprised to see the share price up. Actually, I'm a little bit surprised. I thought maybe it wasn't that huge contract, but anyway. And there's BBUS, not surprising. Okay, so let's get to the top 5 stocks of the day. I'm just glad Titomic wasn't there because I actually did exclude that to include Aussie Broadband. So let's start off with yesterday's top stock of the day, Golden Deeps. You might notice share price has not moved. What has this company done? They've gone into trading halt. I just saw they went into trading halt, and I'm going to guess, I haven't even opened it up yet, I'm going to guess they're going to do a capital raising. This is exactly what management should do. They should do capital raisings when the share price increases a fair bit, but they have wasted no time. Now, I could be wrong here. Maybe this is something else, something really exciting, but based off the indicated price, that's a pretty good indication that this is a capital raising. So let's have a look. So a lot of people look at the first page and just go, we have no idea what the capital raising. There's always a second page when there's a trading halt from the company itself. And the company is seeking the trading halt pending an announcement to the market in relation to a capital raising. This is what management should do. I do think they could have waited a little bit of time, but I did mention yesterday that the share price could pull back a fair bit over the next few days. And there's a chance the share price could have dropped 10, 15% today. So this could be good timing from Golden Deeps management. So you do capital raisings when the share price has rallied, or you do capital raisings when the company is really overvalued. Now, I'm not sure if any management would say the company they are managing is overvalued, but they should be aware of that sort of thing. This is a good time to do a capital raising. The share price has rallied a fair bit and it might be considered overvalued. That's when you do create value for your shareholders. So that's Golden Deeps has gone into a trading halt to raise some capital, and that is the number 5 stock of the day. You can just see not much to choose from today among the companies. Coming in number 4, which would I'm going to put Cettire number 4, and then I'll put Aussie Broadband, and then SKS Technologies, and then Orora. So let's have a look at Cettire. What has happened with Cettire? I did mention, was it yesterday or the day before? Would have been yesterday, that the share price of Cettire had rallied a fair bit in a fairly short period of time. I was like, what's going on here? I'm not sure if I mentioned that in the video. Well, we found out why. The founder, what's his name? Christopher Mintz or something like that, bought a lot of shares over the last 2 days. And I'm going to say right now, the reason the share price rallied was because he was buying shares on market. And he was, I don't want to say manipulating the share price, Christopher Mintz, but he acquired 11.4 million shares, representing 3% of the shares outstanding. So these were not small purchases. Total consideration, 15.8 million. Now, he sold a lot of shares recently as well. So let's go back in time. Try to remember when he sold some shares. There will be an announcement in regards to that. I thought it wasn't 3 months ago. Just, I'm getting old. Time's just, where it is it? Sale of shares statement, 4th of March. I thought it was not that long ago. So he sold 27.5 million shares at a price of $4.63. Could it be said here that Christopher Mintz is trading shares in Cettire? So he sold a fair bit here at $4.63, and then he's looked and went, share price is now 1. Why not buy some shares? And maybe if the share price rallies from here, sell some shares. Oh, yeah, this is interesting from Dean Mintz. For some reason, Christopher Mintz. Is there a Christopher Mintz? You know, sorry, I got your name wrong. Dean Mintz. There you go. Now, the other thing I should mention, yeah, he bought shares on the 2nd or 3rd of September. The reason we know that is not in that announcement. It's in notice of change of interest of substantial holder. You notice these are not marked price sensitive. The only reason I knew this, because I don't look at non-price sensitive announcements. The only reason I knew this was, yeah, Cettire shares dive as CEO increases stake. And I saw that. I went, oh, what's happened there? And then I knew there was going to be some announcements in regards to that. So have a look at the notice of changes of interest of substantial holder, and you get a little bit more information here, particularly when he bought and what prices he bought. So he bought, yep, tells you what his voting power is. It went from 30% to 33%. Not sure why it's 29.98%. So he increased it by exactly 3%. So he knew exactly how many shares he wanted to buy. So it wasn't any sort of dollar value. It was so he could get his voting power up 3%, exactly 3%. And now also you can see he bought on market. It should say here on market purchases. And it also tells us down here when he bought. So he bought 6.3 million on the 2nd of September. He also bought 5.2 million on the 3rd of September. Also average price and maximum price. So that maximum price on the 2nd of September was a closing price. And if you look at the average price, he was buying through the day. He started, in my opinion, this is just hypothesis, he started buying on open and he bought all through the day. And this could be one of the reasons why the share price rallied about 33%, because he just kept on buying on market. Didn't put any limits in there. He was just buying on market and the share price rose. And then he did the same thing yesterday and now he stopped. And now the share price is down 12%. I did see someone mention, I'm shocked the share price is down because, he bought a substantial amount of shares. The market should be excited about that. I was thinking, no. Share price has rallied a fair bit after disappointing results and there's no one else to buy. Those who probably bought have already bought. CEOs probably stopped buying. Share price is now down 13%. So this is, I think, understandable. A lot of other people will say, well, the CEO buying and the founder buying shares on market, that must mean something good is going to happen to this company. It must mean the company is promising. And that actually is really good logic. Research has been done on this, and there is a pretty good correlation between management buying shares on market and the future share price and valuation of the company over a few years. It usually does mean the company is going to grow. So there is that argument here that maybe now is the time to think about buying shares in Cettire. But then you have to also worry that he might sell his shares soon if the share price does rally, and then the share price will drop. Yeah. Cettire, do I have to look at the chart? Yeah, let's have a look at the chart. And yeah, the share price rallied a fair bit the last 2 days. If you look at the chart, just disregarding that rally, it hasn't really moved since that really big down day on the 24th of June. The share price dropped almost 50%. And big volume came in the last 2 days because we know now why do I want to call him Chris Mintz? Dean Mintz was buying shares on the market. Chris Mintz. Is there a Chris Mintz that's... okay, that's why. Okay. I now know where or why I was calling him Chris. Okay, I won't explain it in this video, but there is a reason. Yeah, I did see this guy in a movie yesterday, and I actually, for some reason, I knew his name was Chris Mintz, but just in the back of my mind. Anyway, that's really interesting. It's really interesting how the mind works. Okay, so that's Cettire coming in at number 4. 3, Aussie Broadband. Nice little rally today, up 4.5%. And they're being told, well, they weren't told, but remember they did put in a takeover bid for Superloop, but then there were some problems. They were holding too many shares, according to some rules in Singapore or somewhere. And yesterday they decided to sell the remaining of their Superloop shareholding. So more than likely, no takeover anymore for Superloop. Not only that, Superloop share price has absolutely gone on a run, and they're receiving 42.7 million. No, wait, Dad. No, sorry. That's the profit they're going to make. Profit or gain. So in fact, this company, when they release their results in financial year 25, their profit is going to be fairly bigger than it probably should be because of this gain in Superloop's share price. So proceeds of 99.8 million and a gain on sale of 42.7 million. So the company is now a little bit more cashed up, I suppose. So for some reason, the market likes that. I don't think this changes anything for the company. I don't know why the share price is up, but the market is weird sometimes, and that's all it is. So when the share price of a company is up almost 5%, when the overall market is down 2%, you're going to have to love that. I have this problem with Aussie Broadband all the time. The ticker just does not work. Now let's take a little chart. Yeah, so there was the share price did rally on the back of their results, but it wasn't a breakout, up 12%. And the reason it wasn't a breakout, because the share price was at that level for a while. So there's a lot of shareholders who had bought at higher prices who now want to get out. And it's not surprising the share price actually dipped lower following that, the 6 trading days after that. So that was, I think, not a surprise. And now the share price has rallied a little bit more. Not big volume coming through. I wouldn't be surprised to see the share price of this company just go sideways, maybe even go down a little bit from here. So nothing too exciting when it comes to Aussie Broadband chart. I'd really like to see the share price get above 360 before I become a little bit more interested, and then above about $4 before I get even more interested, and then $4.80 before I go, ooh, there's no resistance or very little resistance. So that's Aussie Broadband coming in at number 3. 2, we have SKS Technologies, another company whose share price is up today, 6.6%. It wasn't that long ago. Share price went down 9.7% on, what's today? On Monday. Share price went to a low of $1.23. Now it's up to $1.46. So share price has increased 20% since that low. Yes, I'm not sure why people were selling. I think it was just fear, that sort of thing. But these companies can be quite volatile. So why the share price up 6.6%? It was just a $20 million or further $20 million data center contract secured. I did not think this announcement would trigger a rally in the share price today. It's surprising to me. It's not a huge contract. This is the reason I'm invested in SKS is because um, they are, in this space, and Matthew Jinks actually didn't say it, but this contract award increases the company's revenue forecast. I suppose this could be considered an upgrade because they are increasing their revenue for financial year 25. Now it's up to 220 million. What was it for financial year 24? I forget. Let's have a look. So forecasting revenue to be plus $220 million in financial year 25. In financial year 24, it was 136.52 million. So this company is going to experience significant revenue growth in financial year 25. If they can increase their margins, this company will be significantly profitable in financial year 25. So profit after tax of $6.6 million in financial year 24. So I could imagine they could almost double their profit in financial year 25, which would mean if they double their profit, say 12 million, we'll just say $12 million. The market cap of this company right now is 163. So we're talking about 12 million company on a PE ratio of maybe 12, 13. Not too stretched for this type of growth. But then you have to think, how long is these tailwinds going to last? That would be the thing I'm going to be considering for these companies over the next 6 to 9 months, because eventually I do think the tailwinds will even maybe weaken, maybe not completely end, but definitely weaken in the next year or two. Maybe it's going to be even longer than that. But anyway, SKS Technologies, pretty good day. So let's have a look at the chart. I'm not complaining as a shareholder. And yeah, there's me buying some shares. I also bought some shares at $1.44. Should not copy. I'm going to put that in right now so I don't forget. I sometimes do forget to put in when I bought. I bought right there on that big down day. Or maybe it was that day. I forget which day it was. I just saw the share price dropped a lot and I bought. I thought, ooh, good time to buy some more shares. And I could have bought even lower, $1.23. Anyway, the chart looks pretty good for SKS Technologies. Coming in number 2, and coming in number 1, we have to talk about Orora. Orora share price up about 7%, 7.4%. Selling or divesting, the sale of North America packaging business for 1.7 billion. Maybe I'm overstating it a fair bit. For some reason, I've got 1.7 billion in my mind. Let's have a look. Please announce it has entered into a binding agreement to sell Orora Packaging Solutions for enterprise value of 1.775 billion on a cash and debt-free basis. The transaction is expected to result in net cash proceeds of approximately 1.687 billion after tax. That's a fair bit of money for a company with a market cap of $3.6 billion. I'm not sure how much debt they had. I would assume they have a little bit of debt, so this company should be flush with cash. I don't know how much. According to this, it's 9.9 times financial year 24 cash EBITDA. I would like to see a little bit of information on this. So capital management, attention to distribute surplus proceeds in a tax efficient manner. So again, why not try to grow in other ways? Why not do that? Again, obsession with dividends. And but maybe that's what they've come to the decision, that this is the best way to provide value for shareholders, just giving it back to shareholders. And I sort of disagree with that, because I would say most investors are not very good at allocating their own capital, and management, because they're in these roles, should be able to do much better with that cash than individual shareholders. That's just the way I think, because the other way to look at it is the share price of this company will drop by the capital return. So it's not a free lunch. You don't get anything real from these capital return. It's just, for me, it's weird. There is a reason why Warren Buffett doesn't give dividends to his shareholders. There is a reason behind it. Anyway, I won't go through this anymore. So the market liked it. Now, there was a takeover bid for this company, and there was a comment about this, Orora. Actually, not in that one. Orora. or maybe it was just ORA. No, I'm pretty sure there was a comment, someone's telling me that, wait, the reason share price is rallying because there's a takeover bid for this county, but Aurora knocked it back. They said, no, get lost. I remember talking about that. There it is, a receipt and rejection of NBIO from a Lone Star on the 13th of August. The share price did rally because of that, because there's going to be possible more interest in buying or acquiring Aurora. And I'm just wondering if this sale of the North American packaging business would sort of mean anyone who wants to acquire Aurora is just going to fade away, go do their own thing. That's a possibility, I suppose. So this could actually suppress any more takeover bids for Aurora. So let's have a look at the chart for this county. It's a pretty good chart, by the way. Yeah, it's a really broken out. They released that takeover bid on the 13th of August. Share price popped up. Was that the takeover bid, or was that results? No, takeover bid, and then the next day they released results. So share price popped up on the takeover bid by 20% almost, and then they released the results. Share price popped up another 5.3%. So a nice little mini breakout, not the best sort of breakout, but much better looking chart than it was not that long ago for Aurora. And it is the top stock of the day. Maybe not the top stock of the day, it is the stock of the day. Not much to choose from, but at least we got it there. Okay, that's all I'm going to talk about in this particular video. No charts or anything like that, simply because that Stealth Group video took 26 minutes, and that's what I'm going to do in the future. I'm going to do the ASX Daily Rundown videos, but I'm going to keep it a little bit shorter so I can do a standalone video. In fact, I was thinking, this is just a thought, instead of doing or featuring the top stock of the day or the stock of the day in the ASX Daily Rundown video, I could do a standalone video on the stock of the day. I could do that. I am thinking of doing that. Anyway, if you have any thoughts on that, just leave your thoughts in the comment section of the video. Otherwise, I'm not a financial advisor. If you do need financial advice, make sure you seek out someone who is qualified and can speak to your own financial needs. That's it for this video. Have a good day. Bye.